All right, welcome to Chapter 9, Interpreting Medication Orders. So for 9.1 lecture notes, since most of 9.1 is abbreviations, I'm just going to focus on learning how to work with Roman numerals a bit, and then I also emailed one of the head people at the vet program at WCC about any of the common abbreviations, because there are so many in the book. I wanted to know which ones you should be focusing on memorizing now, and these are the ones that were pointed out. Okay, so these are good ones to start memorizing now. Alright, so per OS by mouth, as needed, nothing by mouth, and so on. Okay, so good things to memorize. So let's take a look at the Roman numerals. Alright, so the main building block letters that we're going to use are the following. Okay, and then after that, everything is sort of just built from these. So the Roman numeral I is the Arabic number 1. Roman numeral X is the Arabic number 10. And then we have the Roman numeral SS, which is actually a half. That's an interesting one I don't normally see. The Roman numeral L is going to be 50. Then we have the Roman numeral V, which is 5. And then the Roman numeral C, which is 100. And you can think of it as a century. All right, so these are the main basic 6 ones we're going to be looking at. So here's another thing to note, is that, well, I think often, normally we see Roman numerals written with capital letters. The lowercase is also commonly used, but I'm going to try and stick mainly with capitals, but we'll throw a few lowercase in. So when you're reading a Roman numeral containing more than one letter, so if it's not just one of these 6, we're going to have to do a little bit of math to figure out which number it is. The first thing, if any letter with a smaller value appears before a letter with a larger value, subtract the smaller from the larger. After that, you add the values of all the letters not affected by step 1 to those that were combined. Alright, let's take a look at how to actually apply this. So, for this one, we have IX. Alright, so the question here is I smaller than X? Well, I is 1, and X is 10. So yes, I is smaller, which means we're going to use this rule here for 1. If a smaller letter appears before a larger one, we're going to subtract the smaller from the larger. Okay, so because the smaller one comes first, we're going to go ahead and do that subtraction. So we have, oops, wrong one. X is 10. And then we're going to subtract the smaller one value first, so it's 10 minus 1, which is going to equal 9. So IX is 9. Another way of thinking of it is it's saying we want 1 less than X. All right? With that same concept, if we had XI, this is saying 1 more than 10, which would be 11. All right, so taking a look at this one, once again we have the smaller number before the bigger number, which is saying here we want 1 less than 5. Okay, so 1 before 5, which you can do the subtraction or you could do it in your head. So 5 minus 1 is going to be 4. So IV is 4. So XIV. All right, XIV is going to be, well, we have the X, so there's no smaller number before that. That's going to be 10, and then we're going to add to it IV, which we already know is 4. So 10 plus 4 is going to be 14. So, let me just back that up and write it nicer. So XIV is going to equal 14. And now let's take a look at D. All right, so these are lowercase, but it's okay. It's the same thing. All right, so we have the smaller one first. So that's going to be 1 less than 5. That's going to be 4, IV, plus, and then SS. SS is a half. So 4 plus a half. So then IVSS equals, you could write 4.5 or 4.5. And then let's take a look at the last ones. So VL, all right. Oh, that was a little bad there. VL. Is V smaller than L? Well, V is 5 and L is 50. So yes, it's smaller, which means we're going to do the subtraction. So this is saying to me, I want 5 less than 40. Oh, sorry, 5 less than 50, excuse me. So 50 minus 5 is going to be 45. All right, let me go ahead and edit this right here so I can keep writing. Okay, which is going to be 45. So then VL is 45. Now let's look at F. Okay, so is L smaller than I? No, it's not. So we're going to go ahead and just do the addition. So that's going to be L is 50 plus 2. So that's I, which is going to be 2. Another way of saying this is you want 2 more than 50. So that is going to be 52, which means LII is 52. Then CL. All right, is C smaller than L? Well, C is 100 and L is 50. So it's not, which means we're just going to go ahead and do the addition. So another way of saying this is we want 50 more than 100. So let's do the 100, adding the 50, because remember that's the 100 and that's the 50. So that's going to be, ooh, that's a 50. It's going to be a 150. Sorry, that's 50. So then CL is going to be 150. Something that's always fun to do, if you ever go around buildings in maybe downtown areas, sometimes you'll see Roman numerals on the buildings. That'll be a fun game to play with people that you're walking with. Try to see who knows how to read it off. And you can show off your amazing skills with Roman numerals. Alright, lastly we have XIX. So X does not have anything smaller in front of it, so we're just going to keep that as X, which is going to be 10. And then we have this value here, which has IX. Okay, so there is a smaller number before it, which means we're going to do a subtraction. So IX, let's do this on the side. That is going to be 1 less than X. 1 less than X, that's going to be 10 minus 1, which is going to be 9. Okay, so IX is 9. So X plus IX is going to equal 19, which means XIX is 19. And there we go. That is it for now. So remember to memorize the above charts, because these are the recommended ones to have memorized at this point in time. And then here are the Roman numerals that go along with some of the orders. Please email me if you have any questions.